what's up guys, it's Mike here again and I'm back with another design tutorial. So in this tutorial, we will be going to create a flat portfolio design. So as you can see right here on my screen, this is the final design we are going to make. So on the top part, we have the header area as well as the banner section or the welcome section. And when we scroll down, we have a services section for web design, mobile, and photography. And on the third section, we have a portfolio section, which is everything is flat. The MacBook here is flat, as well as the buttons. And on the last section, we have a contact section, which is showing our social media that we are joining. For here we have email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Dribbble. Also, I have provided two portfolio design for you. First one is something like this. It's like a grid of images showcasing our portfolio, and each image have its own icons to represent what is that kind of project. For here, photography, here is web design, and here is mobile design. And we have this, as you can see, we have a controls to navigate. So without any further say, let's go ahead and let's get started. First one, I would like you to download all the resources I've provided. You can check it on the links. So first one, we're going to locate it, going to minimize this, and on the resource I have this 960 grid dot system. So go ahead and go to templates, Photoshop, and hit on 960 grid 12 call. So we're going to open this. Next one, we're going to change the canvas size. So Control Alt C and hit this right here and make it 1600, and for this time maybe 2800. So something like that. Make sure it's on pixels and show the rulers by pressing Control and colon or semicolon on the keyboard. And also our color scheme we'll be using for this tutorial will be, so just a demonstration, we're going to use F8 4242 for the red one, a flat red, and 25252A. This will be for the buttons, and the other one will be E5 E5 for the light background. So this will be our color scheme. So this is the scheme. We can hide it. You can actually use this as the foreground, and this will be for the background for the meantime. So first you're going to do is select rectangle tool and create a rectangle 1600 by 660. So align this by pressing this one, and it is properly aligned. So another thing is we need to create a new document. We will be creating a 6 by 6 pixel. This will serve as our baseline grid. So what does that mean is it will help us align our text properly as well as other elements. So just use rectangular marquee tool and six by six and zoom in and just a 1 pixel selection and fill it with red. Make sure you unhit the background or hide it and go to edit, define pattern and name it 6 by 6 baseline grid. And we can close it now. And right above this layer right here are, let's name this header, baseline grid. Fill this with a background and change the fill color to 0 and apply a pattern overlay and locate the one we just made. So something like that. You can see we have this grid right here. We can lock this so that we will not move it, and for the meantime let's hide it. So now let's start placing the elements. So for now I'm going to grab the logo I made for myself. So you can place your own logo or anything. So I'm just going to import it, something like that. So feel free to create your own, or if you have a logo, just place it. So now align this, as you can see on the baseline grid. Align this 60 pixels from the top, I think. Yes, 60 pixels from the top. So as you can see, it is on the right grid, baseline grid here. And also for the bottom, if we're going to place another element, we're going to have the same margin, which is 60 pixels. So grab the ruler and place a guide right here. So now that we have that, we're going to place our navigation. So what we have on our navigation: home, services, portfolio, blog, and hire me. So create a new layer, name this navigation. The size for this is 16 pixels. And make sure you have downloaded the Open Sans font. And make this home. Make sure it's white. So home, services, portfolio, blog. Home. And the distance on each link is 40 pixels. So by pressing shift and the right arrow key, it will create a 10 pixels margin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will make 40 pixels. So home, services, 1, 2, 3, 4. Home services, think it's portfolio, 1, 2, 3, 4, blog, and hire me. You're going to align this. Again, as you can see, we have a baseline grid, 60 pixels from the top. So we're going to align it correctly like that. and we're going to align the navigation links based on this grid. So something like this will, like that will do. And for this links, we're going to group this normal and change the fill color to 60, and for this home, this will be the active or the hover state. Zoom in, and we're going to place a underline, which is using line tool, create a line and change the fill color to white and place it 4 pixels below. 1 2 3 4, and that will do in the header section. So make sure it's in the inside. Next one will be the welcome section. So as you can see, hola, this is the heading and this is the text. So for the heading, we're going to make it light and the font size will be 72 pt. So hola, and turn on the baseline grid and place it over right there, something like that. And I think we need to double the spacing, so 60 pixels again, and place it right there. I think that's good. So next we're going to place this text. Hola, I'm John Doe of Philippines. Or what we can do is let's just copy this one and place it right here. So grab the text tool and on this alignment place it something like this. Like that. And for the spacing for this, is 1 2 3. Yes, so by holding shift and up arrow key, down arrow key, starting from this baseline here, like that, press it 3 times, 1 2 3. So as you can see, it is properly aligned, and the line height for this one, you can view it right here. So the line height is 36. So now that we have it, it's time to place the button. So for the button, it's very simple. Create a new layer and group it, button, and make the open sans to bold and the font size to 16. And let's make it, what's the text we place in? View my work. So view my work. Easy as that. And so here is the way I create a button. I can press Ctrl T to transform, and I'm looking at the information panel. The current width now is on 112. So I'm going to add a padding on left and right 20 pixels. So that will make it 152 pixels. And in height, I'm going to stay with 44 pixels. So grab the rounded rectangle tool and set the radius to 2 pixels. Make sure there is no stroke. And for the fill color, let's make it, what's the fill color again? This color. So change it like that and make this 152 by 44. Place it below the text and align it by selecting both layers and use move tool, and on the options panel click this one. That will perfectly align. And let's place the button starting from the baseline and hit 6 times the down arrow key. 1 2 3 4 5 6. I think we did it. Do we? So let's examine this. 60, 60, 72, and this is 22 as well. 1 2 3 4 5. So maybe we just missed the spacing there. And I know it now. So for this one, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and for the button, we're going to move it 120 pixels below. So it's double the size, the spacing. Place it right there. And let's see if we have a right spacing here. So we're going to adjust this to make it 120 like that, and just resize it something like that. So that's it for the header area and the banner. And what we can do is to add something on the background. So as for me, I'm from Philippines. I'm going to plan a silhouette of a popular place or common in Philippines, which is the Luneta Park. So on the resource, I provided it. So download it, or anything. Maybe on your country, if you're from Paris, you will use the Eiffel Tower. So for this one, I'm going to go to desktop on portfolio resource and open this bad boy here. So what I can do here is I'm going to duplicate this, go to the red channel, and I'm going to go to image adjustment levels. I will bump up the white and the black, so something like that, and going to copy this, Ctrl+Shift+C to copy merge, and head over to this right here, and for the base, I'm going to paste it. Now I'm going to resize this one, something like that. Place it over right there. So by selecting this layer, right click and create clipping mask. So now it's masked on our base layer. So we can move this and still on the right place, and I'm position it something like that. and I'm going to make the blend mode to multiply, so the white will hide and the black will reveal. And I'm going to set the opacity to about 20 or 15, something like that. And actually we can blur this up, so image, filter, blur, field blur, so it has something on the background, maybe 5 pixel, so something like that for me is good. Or maybe a little bit of blur, filter, blur, maybe 2 pixel. So damn, it's lagging too. Going to filter, blur, field blur, just 2. Okay, and that will be enough on the header section. Next one is the services section. So create new layer, group it, name it services. And for this time, we'll be placing the services. So web design, mobile design, and photography. So I provided a resource also, which I forgot to download. So by going to recently closed, go to, so I've recently closed these tabs here, and from Victor Erickson, make sure to follow him on Dribbble and go ahead and download this free. I love the icons, so make sure to follow him. I'm going to locate this attachment, going to place this on the desktop resource and open it on Photoshop. So bring the browser right here, duplicate, so right click, duplicate, design. Another thing is the mobile, so duplicate layer, going to design. Oh, I think it's on 960 grid, so I've mistaken on that one. So 960 grid, and the last one is for photography, so camera. So we can close this now. So where are they? So here they are. We're going to change the color to this red right here. Place it, turn on the grid, and for the browser, so 32, we'll resize it to, what's the size we've given here? I think it's 48. Yeah, 48. So for the browser, resize it and make it 48 pixel, like that. Do the same for this iPhone, so 48, and for the camera, now that we have it, align this. We have a 3 columns, so we have 4, 8, 12, so 4 columns each. So browser, phone. So 1 2 3 4 right here. Camera will be 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2, and camera is here, and the alignment is 120 pixels. Grab a guideline and place it right there. For the browser, make sure it's centered on the grid. So using the rectangle marquee tool, I'm going to move tool, hit this, this one, align, as well as here, and do the same here for the camera. Now let's place the heading and the text. So web design, mobile design, photography. And for the color for that will be 11111, and the size will be 24. So web design, just place it here. Turn on the baseline grid because it's very helpful. So maybe something like that will do. Go ahead and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl J. So for web design, group this web. Next will be for the iPhone, which is, just make this mobile design, and for the last one, photography. So it looks good. So mobile and photography. Now we need to add a paragraph. So the font size for that is 15 pt, and the color will be 66666, and place it right here and go to type, paste lorem ipsum. Let's see, so about 4 lines of text. And for the line height of this one, so by selecting all and going right here, we can adjust it. We're going to make the line height, so on this baseline grid, let's adjust the line height to make it like that, so it is aligned properly. And so erase something like that, make this a period, and delete everything. Something like that, and place it below 1 2 3, duplicate it. Let's create a read more link, read more, and change the fill color to red. Did I make it the same color as this? Yes. Just size something like that. And place it 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yep. Or maybe just 3. 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Let's see how it looks like without the grid. Yeah, looking good for me. Maybe regular. Or maybe light. That will do. Duplicate this. Place it on mobile. Holding shift, move it. Do as well on photography. So J to duplicate. Place it there. Where this is. So what we do now is turn on again and create a 120 pixels. So 120. So you can see it here or here. So now we have it. Let's go ahead and create another group and make it portfolio. So now we're going to use this color scheme, the E5, hide it, and create a about 6, or maybe just this 1600 by 696. What the hell? Place it on the center. Forget to switch the foreground color. So something like that. So for the first portfolio I'm going to show you is this one. So we have this first web designer, and or maybe I can just duplicate the text so it will be more faster, and I can just walk you through it. So duplicate this group and go to 960.js, and let's see if it's on the right position, and make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 120. Just measure it. 120. So it will be more easier for you and for me. So that's it for the text. And for the text it's 36 pt. The color is the same, 1111. And this little date here is 13 pt, and the color is 9D. And for the text is the same, 6666, 15 pixels. And the distance is again 3 press of down arrow until it will align with the baseline grid. The same as here, 3, 3. And for this one, it's 11 pt. The color is the same with the date. And the font here is 6666, still the same. Here, designer, tools, Photoshop, it's the same. And for the button, let's create that one. So, what's the text? View project. So create a button. And the text will be view project. Make it bold and make it white. Control T to show the size of the width. So 88 plus 40 pixels, that will count as 128. So 128 by 44, and change the color to this bad boy. Place it over the top, align it, make sure to align it properly with the baseline grid and hit 6 times. 1 2 3 4 5 6. And let's measure below again. 120 pixels, 120, like that. And background, yes, we got it right. Turn off. Now it's time for the MacBook Pro. So what I did is go ahead and go to our resource folder. So this comes from the Apple website. So this is the MacBook Pro. So I think it's copyrighted by them, but I think there's nothing wrong with it if we will be using it as for our personal work, personal project, and make it flat. So I just created right here MacBook. And as you can see right here, without these layers, this is the MacBook. What I did first is using rectangle tool, I trace it right there, and also place guidelines on each corners right there. So using rounded rectangle tool, about 20 pixels in radius, created the shape. So just make it something like this. And so for the fill color, I'll just leave it like that, and do the same on this frame, another frame, and make it something smaller, something like that. So you have it. And so just to show you, so here and this one, so it's darker. So the color scheme for this, right from the swatches panel, I think this is the color for this one, for the base, this right here. And for the frame, it's this right here, the third palette before the black. And for the screen, it's white using rectangle tool. So that's how you do it, and do the same as well on the bottom part. So for the base, so what you can do here is, what I did is, from rounded tool, I set the radius to 2 pixel, and then on that base I created something like this one. I will just align it. So what I did is like this. So I make it like that until I reach the corner. Right here. Then what I do is, let's redo it, something like this. So like this, and just place it, Control T, and transform it like that. This will be for the front one, and for the base one, duplicate this and add using pen tool. So on the direct selection tool, select this, so it will reveal the path, and add using pen tool, let's add another point. use the direct selection tool again and move it like that. So as you can see, it follows the grid. You can do the same here. So pen tool, add a point, move it down, something like that. And for the fill color, to demonstrate, for the base, I have this one, C2C2. So here, this color right here, available on your swatches. And for the front, I have a E1E1. I think it's on the third part right here. And for the grip opener on the center, you have C2C2, so the same on the base. And you will have this complete MacBook Pro, a flat MacBook Pro. So where is this one? Just delete that and you have something like this, and select all and make it a convert to smart object. Then duplicate it on our 160 grid. Now we can resize this bad boy, and we're going to place it like that. So something like that, and make sure it is aligned on that one, and resize it maybe this right here, make it 130, something like that, and align it again right there. Maybe let's increase more the size to reach this right there. And what we can do is grab a screenshot. So let's delete the layer mask and duplicate this to our 960 grid. Now we can place it right here. So something like that, and just mask this right here. Control Shift I to inverse the selection and mask. Oops, did it wrong. Just hit mask. Why? Control Shift I, mask. And that will do on our portfolio section. Is easy, right? So that's how you do it. So for the version 2 of this one, as you can see right here, what I did is just to show you. I'm not going to walk you through it on doing all of this stuff. So just create a shape, something 310. You can see my alignment here. So the spacing is 10 pixels. So 310 on the small blocks, and for this wide block is 310. So double the size. So 310 plus 310 plus this 10 pixels, that will count as 610 in width. but the height will stay the same. And for this full width and this big block here, that will be 610 by 610, and 640 by 630. And what you can do is just play some screenshots, and for the font here, so I'm using Helvetica for this one, but for this computer I don't have it. So yeah, and for the icons, still the same, and the width for that is the original size, so 32 by 32, and place it on the top, in the bottom left corner, so 20 pixels, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And for this right here, the color for this is E5 E5, and the same hover state. Basically it's 4 lines, and see, 1 2 3 4. Going to code this, we can navigate this, bang bang bang, and that's it for the portfolio part. Next is this part right here, say hello, hello, hello. So what we can do is turn on again the baseline grid, and let's create another from this part, 120. Now that we have it, we can now create another folder and name it contact. For that contact, we're going to use this font size here, 72, Open Sans, and you can say hello, make it 11111 72, Open Sans, light, it's light, it's good, it's light, and align it like that, and change the hello to red, say hello, yeah, and then a period. And for the text is the same, 15, and the color is 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 6 6 6, and I'd love to hear from you. Or we can say project in mind. I'd love to hear from you. Does that make sense? And then place it again, 1 2 3. So that's it. Now create another guide, maybe 120 again. Is it 120? Yep, it is. Then we're going to create a group again on social icons, and for the and each of background will be 120, and make it E5 E5. So 5 of this, duplicate it, and the spacing is 10, so move it like that, like that, and create another and make this 120. Now we can place our copyright text right there. So copyright Jando. So copyright 2013 Jando, all rights reserved, period. Make the Jando bold and make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to emphasize the name of your portfolio. Let's turn off the baseline grid, see how it look. So it's looking great. And then go to Icon Monster and search for mail. So I think this is the mail icon I downloaded, and turn off the ad block if you have that extension and refresh, and we're good to download this and place it here. And resize this bad boy to 32 pixels, I think. Let's see if it's 32, or I think it's 48. Something like that. And align it, change the color overlay to this one, to the red color, and do the same for Facebook, Twitter, this Instagram, and Dribbble. So to make it quick, I'm going to duplicate this group to show you and raise it right over there. Can delete this now. So just to make this tutorial quick, and there you have it. Let's see, and we can resize now. So something, maybe we can, so from this all rights reserved, ruler tool, turn on the baseline grid and hit on till you reach 120. Grab it there, resize this, and there you have it. You have a nicely laid out flat portfolio design, which is very hot now on the web design industry. So flat everywhere. So I'm going to provide a PSD for this one, for this version and this version. So that's it guys, and I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I see you guys on the next one.